Xbox, Record This is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, Xbox, and the good old days. If you'd like to find out more, head to xboxrecordthis.com.
Oh, we're still recording. We're recording.
We are recording.
Already.
We are live. Oh, hello. Welcome to Xbox Record This, episode 11. Please ignore Bubble Boy's comments. I'm just going to have to edit that out. We're coming in hot after our celebration of 10 episodes. Thank you so much to all of those who have listened and sent us the congratulations and kind words. We really do appreciate it. And when I say the congratulations, it was just us congratulating each other. So good job, gentlemen, on 10 episodes. Joining me, as always, the assistant to the co-host, Chipotle Bear. How are you?
I'm doing great, Daddy Diwali. We're a day late recording because it's been a little bit of a rough transition for all of us going back to work after the end of summer here. But overall doing really well. Actually a little sore today because we scraped the last piece of popcorn ceiling in our house this week. So I officially have no more popcorn ceiling, which feels great, except my back is it got wrecked from that. But otherwise, doing great. Happy to be here with you fellas. Thank you very much.
And joining the assistant to the co-host is, of course, the assistant to the co-host, Bubble Boy and Seven. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here, as always.
Well, thank you for being here, guys. As Jose said, we are recording a day late. Unfortunately, we had some family drama on XRT here, but we don't need to talk about that. Guys, I wanted to share with you a fun, exciting thing I did this weekend. On Saturday, it was a Green Mountain High School alumni basketball tournament.
Ooh.
And so it was basically every class. It was broken down into classes, and I think the class of 2020, 2021 won the tournament. But basically after that, it was divided up by like 3 to 4 years. We're so far back now, guys. We fall into the category old guys was the name of our team. And it was very depressing. And I'm not going to lie. I played all right. And I actually was like 3 for 3 or 4 from 3. It's like I didn't take any stupid shots, but which was good. This was the first time, guys, I have to admit it, I felt old. And it was kind of depressing and eye-opening. Yeah. And I haven't felt like this ever. When I go play OGB, I'm like, I'm killing it. Like I'm dominating, getting good amount of points. But we're also playing other old guys and playing these young bucks where they're just running up and down the court. I was like,
they have stamina. Their
stamina
button
that's
works.
Exactly. That's the one thing. Like, I could hang. I could hang with them like boxing out. I had a couple blocks. It's the stamina, man. Like I can't just sprint like on, like you said, press the right trigger and sprint. Like that's the only I noticed. And my quads, I like an idiot. The week before I started to do sprints, I'm like, I'm really gonna get cardio. Mm-hmm. I was so sore before the games. That was a huge mistake. So next year, hopefully, I can come back and do a little bit better. But there were guys complimenting me like, wait, great box out. They're like, that was a great block. Like some of the guys I could tell were like, okay, this guy could ball.
Who was on your team? Anybody we know?
Yeah. So Ray unfortunately could not make it. Of course, he made it to the first one 2 years ago. Yeah, he was randomly out of time. But it was me, Tim Steuven, still a beast.
Yeah.
You guys remember?
Man.
Dude,
of course.
Balled out. Basically, it was me and him who were, no offense, in shape compared to everyone else. And then Jason Carter was there, and no offense, Jason, but he's a big dude now. Big dude, no defense. Just he just spotted up and shot threes from which he'd made a few, but liability on defense. And then Matt Thompson was there, and he's solid. He's not gonna score, but
good old Matt.
He played.
He had some height though, right? Still some height. He's
about almost as tall as me. And then Travis Rodas was there.
Of course.
I love Rodas. He was
Rodas.
off, guys. I don't think he made a single shot.
You can't talk Green Mountain basketball without mentioning.
Oh no, his parents were there. It was awesome. I talked to his parents. They were awesome, you guys.
And Diane.
He was exactly the same. Like so nice, joking around all day. Awesome. Man. I talked to Steven's parents because they had the twins and then Andy's. Yep. They knew exactly what we were going through. So that was really cool. I don't know if Coach Dick was there. I think he might have been, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I don't remember if I saw him actually.
How cool.
And then and who else was there? Russ Potter. I don't know if you know him, but I always liked playing with him. He played with Carter. and then who? Oh, Puccio. So Puccio's the head coach at Green Mountain now.
Oh, cool.
And when we were freshmen, they were the 99-2000 team. They actually made it to the Final Four. And he was he's a really good shooter, played in college, but he tore his Achilles like 2 years ago or a year ago. And like, he never rehabbed it. And he was off. Like, I've never seen him, like, he didn't make a single three. And he like usually is like on, like, feed it to Puccio. He's just going to nail it. And I was shocked. Like, it was the first time I'd ever seen him not score. And you could just tell he was off, and he took himself out after the first game. He's like, I just can't go, you know? And so,
yeah, but that's a legit concern that you have against you too, is like injury is like a legit thing to be concerned about.
Yeah, I know. And he was
take
even
you out
asking
quick, dude.
afterwards, he's like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I feel all right. No, way later, I'm like, I played 3 games almost back to back to back. And who knows the last time I did that. So it was fun. But like I said, unfortunately, Jose
How cool, man.
might be onto something about the Middle Ages. No, it was really cool.
That it's just a neat like community thing, and it just gets me even more excited for the day when Chapeau will be the inevitable principal, and then I'll get to come back and be the assistant principal. And
at Green Mountain?
A school run by all our friends.
Why would he be at Bear Creek? He's been there forever.
Because
he's going to be a Bear Creek lifer.
No,
well, that would
comes
be sick.
Full circle. He is a green. He bleeds black and gold.
That's right.
He is a Ram at heart. That's right. Is something no one will ever take away from him.
That's right.
And we're gonna go back and take that place over someday.
Have you been there recently? There's this new like athletic edition. Jose, maybe you have. And like
I need to go. I haven't been.
Dude, it's Ram Pride everywhere on the doors as you're walking. It's crazy. They've got this sweet Ram on the outside, and like it's really nice. But some of the same crappy doors, same. We walked into the Commons. It was exactly how I remember it. It's weird.
Still have the ocean mural that makes no sense.
No, they got rid of it.
Really?
They almost got rid of the Ram in the background. Here, let me show you this
on the
picture.
wall, right? On the gym wall, right?
There we are in front. There's a new Ram out in front on the way in.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So we went back. They had like a pizza party, and of course, no one from my team was there. They all just took off afterwards. So it was all like younger kids. So I'm like, I know nobody except for Puccio.
And, like, I have an Xbox podcast. Any of you play Xbox?
I should have plugged the Xbox podcast,
man.
but you know, and I was going to bring that up in our stats. We have a missing gap of listeners. We have no listeners aged 23 to 27, and I find that very bizarre. We basically have like everywhere else, but that age, we gotta do a better job.
How old is Big Time Babel? They're in that range, right?
No, dude, Court just turned 30.
Oh my God, never mind.
Oh my
God.
God, we are old. That's what it came down to.
So
right
here's
there.
the picture. I'm all the way on your left. I'm in the white shirt there.
Yeah.
And then if you look over here, here's Steuven over here.
That's so cool, man.
That's
huge.
rad, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it was a lot of
How fun.
There's Big Cardi there next to me and Russ to the UCM back there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy you got to do that, man.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. I wanted to go 2 years ago when they did it the first time, but guess where I was, Chance? I was working
Cancun.
back to school kickoff.
Oh yeah.
At Aurora Mall. So that was awesome. Let me tell you.
Handing out backpacks.
Yes, literally. That's in the heat, dying, and I can't wait to do it again this year, guys. Anyway, that's enough about me and my old man basketball. Depressing story. Let's get into what we've been playing, and I've got some good ones for you too. But let's go ahead and throw it over to N7 Bubble Boy. Let me tell you right now, guys. Bubble Boy has been putting in work. I don't know how he does it. He's a machine. So, Bubble Boy, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing Unruly Heroes on my phone with the Backbone, which has been pretty good. Wait.
You got to give us the review of the Backbone right away. Let's hear it.
Well, see, and I'm not quite ready to yet, though, and that's the thing. It works perfect. It has its own little ecosystem that I didn't know about. So literally the second I attached my phone into it, which was seamless and has a really nice like click feel to it. It feels sturdy and comfortable. Real quick, I guess I would say too, if you have big hands, which is something I've never suffered from, the Backbone might not be for you. It really is kind of tiny. Like, I hate to say it.
Like Switch tiny?
It was the same. No, it's smaller. The same with the
just
Kishi.
smaller than the Xbox controller.
Well, actually, the Joy-Cons are pretty small. I take that back. That's probably comparable to the Switch.
I bought those extra like grip things that I fell in love with the Switch because I just needed that. And my hands haven't started to hurt yet. But man, if you had big hands and fingers or man hands, then it probably is not so great. But anyway, so I fired up Unruly Heroes because it reminded me of Ori in the Blind Forest. It's a platformer, and you switch between these 4 characters to do. They each have like a different kind of skill set, and it's fun. It works great. I have noticed a tiny bit of input lag when the internet's going down a little bit, and again, I attribute that more to the internet than to the actual backbone thing. But I loved how, like I said, you plug it in and it brings up its own app where you can. I have the home button, Jose, or what do you call it? The app. It's not an app, but you click it like it's an app. But you don't even need that. You just click the backbone button and it brings up, and it has it separated like App Store, Apple Arcade, Xbox Cloud Gaming. So that's really cool and a simple way to search for games. So
two quick questions. Can you charge your phone while it's in the backbone, or is it only battery powered?
It's only
Yes, you can. I thought that was a feature. I saw there was a buy. I'm pretty sure. Are you sure there's not a way on the bottom? Because I just looked at the picture of it. Maybe I was looking at the Kishi.
There's a headphone jack, and the Razer Kishi might, but
maybe it's the Kishi.
And I haven't needed to either. That iPhone 12 has a pretty good battery, and I always keep my battery pretty. If I get to like 50%, I start to freak out. So
what about last question is what about the heat? Because Dan was saying when he used the Kishi, it got pretty hot. His phone. Same thing with the backbone.
So I played Unruly Heroes for I don't know maybe 20 minutes today, but while Cora was going down for a nap, and it got hot. It did get pretty hot. So
yeah, I think that's just
it kind of is what it is. I don't.
I'm not knocking it. I was just curious.
Yeah, but so I've been playing that, and it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, Jose, I'll say just on the hot thing, like it's not like my controller was like I was getting too hot to hold it. I just noticed after I grabbed my phone, I was like, oh, man, this thing's hot. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, so, I'm sure the phone will have a shut off if it got that hot. Where it's like you should not be touching this.
It does. When it's in the sun. I hate that. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the Kishi does. No, I'm looking at a picture right here. Pass through charging, Chance. It does.
Where does it charge?
It's on the right. It's on the right hand side. The 3.5 is on the left, and then on the right there's.
So I haven't even looked because it hasn't been a thing, right? Like
you can, Jose.
Okay.
To answer your question. So what
does that just that charges? I guess it would have to. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just to charge your battery while you're playing. What else have you been playing, Chance?
I finished Yakuza, which I'll have an official review for here in a minute. Okay. And then in between games, I can't not pick up Forza when it comes across my thing.
I was like, I thought he beat that.
Well, I did, and then I just was curious. What's your gamer score on Forza? Just
more than you.
Oh, is it though?
My God! Don't tell me you passed me. Hold on, guys. We're stopping the show. If Chance passed me on Forza Horizon 4, my life is over. I can't believe this.
Let's find out.
Oh my gosh.
Chapeau, venture a guess.
Yeah, tell me
in front.
I refuse to believe this. Chance is out to get me, you guys. This is unacceptable.
Chance is the kind of guy who does his own homework. So my guess is if he brought it up, he's passed you. That's just my
God. I'm depressed now. He's going to pass me.
No, I actually don't think I have more than you right now. I just wanted to see your reaction.
You know why though, Chance? Because I got the original 1,000 out of 1,000 on that, and that was incredibly hard. Those dang drift zones, man.
The PR stunts, yep.
My gosh!
I think I have one of the random speed traps, but a couple of the drift zones.
You might have some more of the stories than I do. I do remember I matched you on Lego. I got that cleared the board, which was ridiculous.
Yep.
I have 2,255 out of 3610.
Well, what do I have?
I don't know. All right. Well, I looked that up.
Okay.
Jose, what have you been playing?
Well, no, because hold on though, because then notice the other thing, the big news of mine when it comes to gamer score, and I'll give you a second to see what I'm trying to figure out where I'm getting at here.
You have 2175. So what did I say?
22. Yeah, I think you are a little bit ahead of me.
I'm gonna have to do some work here, guys. Let's get to Jose.
Do you notice what my gamer score is now?
Oh, yes. Everyone give a big round of applause for Shady Nasty. He passed 150,000. I'm surprised you didn't send out a text.
Literally, not at all what I'm talking about. But thank you. I'm at an even gaming score now. I'm back to the 5s and the 0s.
Okay, well, Congrats
Sorry,
on
fives
that.
and zeros.
I thought we were going to talk about 150K here, but okay.
Well, that's pittance compared to what I'm aiming for. But no, I got back to the 5-0. I was in I think I had 2s and 6s.
I know what he did, you guys. He played No Man's Sky to get some random odd number achievements to even it. Jose, you'll do the same thing.
6s and 2s.
No, I won't. Literally, no, I won't.
Jose, you're just as organized and a planner as me. More so, that would annoy you, and you're gonna you would fix it.
No, it's the same. I mean, you're right. I am a super A-type personality in most of the facets of my life, except in my gamer score. I am tens of thousands behind you guys.
I'm not talking about score, but here's the big negative: 28,537. Ooh, you're gonna need a 3-pointer there, Jose, or a 8-pointer.
Oh my God, you guys are nerds. I literally don't care.
Spo Bear, what have you been playing, man? Tell us what you've been playing.
Actually, I have not been playing a whole lot this week because of going back to work. It's been our school hosted our whole district, and we have a brand new superintendent, so we were like meeting with her crew and stuff, and it's been a busy week. However, in the middle of that, I did play a little bit further in Mass Effect 3. I'm almost done with Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition, which, God, it is just such a great game. And I could probably burn through it in like an hour now to like finish the game if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that. Like it's just I'm playing a bunch of the missions and really trying to get all the collectibles and stuff just because it is really a fun game, and I know I probably won't go back to it for a long time once I pass it, so just trying to enjoy the ride a little bit. But that's kind of my goal for the next week or so. Definitely before school starts officially with like kids, is to get through Mass Effect 3 so I can get to Alan Wake for sure, and then you can coach me on a couple more. I still want to play why am I blanking on the Pirates one right now?
Sea of Thieves. Did you
Sea of Thieves? That's what I want to play. Sorry, blank.
Did you you're doing all the DLCs in Mass Effect 3, right? Like Leviathan and okay.
Yeah, I already finished Leviathan.
Those are amazing,
which was really cool because I didn't do that originally the first time, and Citadel is really cool too. So
no spoiler talk about that.
No, it's good though. It's really good.
Nice.
But that's what I'm playing. How about you, Daddy Welly? What are you playing?
So guys, I beat Doom Eternal Ancient Gods, and we're gonna have a conversation about difficulty here in a second. I beat it on easy against the final boss, and this was one of the most difficult and annoying things I've ever done in my life. And props to any of you hardcore gamers who beat that on normal higher, because it was insane. Jose, you remember those Marauders? Okay,
Dude, I hated the Marauders.
Imagine a Marauder that was bigger, and whenever you shot it, he just got his health back if you didn't shoot him at the one time where, he flashes green.
Oh my God.
And imagine that he will only attack you even worse at certain distances. Okay. So that's been narrowed down, and he's got like 5 bars of health that you have to take down to do. You guys, it was
insane,
awful.
dude.
If you want to go look up Final Boss Ancient Gods Part 2. It's the demon. It's basically your clone. You guys, I was just like defeated when I quit. I was just like, I can't do this. I'll come back This was on easy.
Is there an achievement for doing it on the whatever mode it is? Like what's
insane mode or whatever?
No, oh God, no, they're not that dumb. They do have one where the ones I'm only missing right now, if I really wanted to go back and play it, are some multiplayer ones, which would just be a grind, and I just don't want to do it. And basically beating the game on the bonus life mode, I can't remember what they call it, but basically you have to have more than 5 extra lives, and that's it.
Yeah.
I could do it on easy, and if you can just like reload a checkpoint and just stack like 50 lives, and then you'll never really have to use them. But I just can't do it. If I was in my youth and I had time, I probably would, because I loved Doom, and I loved, other than this horrible boss that was just a nightmare, I loved the DLC. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of Doom. Play it on easy. I'm a good gamer, you guys. Like, I consider myself a good first-person shooter. I think my numbers speak for themselves in Battlefield and in COD and in Halo. I had to play this on easy, and I didn't feel bad about it at all.
That really says something. Yeah,
exactly. And like, it's known, like in Doom. Are you playing? You're playing. Do you started it, Chance? Are you on normal? It's not easy.
Yeah, I'm playing on normal.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten terribly far into it. I think I'm at the part where you are on your ship and you kind of you start to pick and choose which level you go to. So not very far.
Chase, did you hear that? It only took 11 episodes for Dan to admit that I was right. They were old. He's like, I'm too old for this. I'd go back in my youth.
Somebody mark it.
So anyway, I highly recommend it. Overall, I think the DLC is easily an 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, it was fun. I love the platforming. I heard Gary Whitta on Kind of Funny complaining about it, and somebody else being like, "Oh, I hate the platforming." I love the platforming sections in Doom. I think that's just as fun. It's a good break from especially a good break from the combat, where it's like sometimes it's brutal.
Your hands hurt after playing it for a while because it's so tense and you're using so much. Like it's
yeah. So I love the platforming parts. I would recommend it. I think it's worth every penny. It's up there as one of the more fun DLCs I played. And you got some sweet armors. So highly recommend, first of all, Doom Eternal and the DLC. If it's ever on sale, it's worth your time. It does a good job, like basically continuing the story at the end, which was cool. And then I beat Streets of Rage 4 on Game Pass. Not as big of a fan of this one. I would give this probably a 5 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a bad game, but not a good game. I think it would be way more fun if you played with someone else. I did it solo, and I didn't know this, but apparently Streets of Rage is like notoriously hard, and I could see that. I was playing on the normal difficulty, like Streets of Rage 3 apparently, or 2, I can't remember. I saw like a list of like hardest games, like it's up there, and I was getting my butt kicked. And so maybe I'm just not as good at brawlers anymore, and I wasn't picking up on the patterns and whatnot. So would I recommend it? If you're a brawler fan, yes. But is it memorable? I don't know, guys. I would play it co-op for sure, and I actually had to play it with a guy because I couldn't beat it on normal by myself. The final boss was insane. It just kept going and going and going, and I was like, this is ridiculous again. So, nah. Then the game I've been playing most recently is called Narita Boy, and you guys,
I'm interested.
I recommend it. I'm about probably only like not even a quarter or a third of the way in. It's cool. Very unique art style. It's a platformer action game, kind of like Ori. Very, very unique.
Good for the backbone?
No. I think this is something where you need that input and you don't want the latency, because there's some tricky platforming which doesn't feel as good, because surprisingly this is a game that doesn't let you use the D-pad, and even though it's like a 2D side scroller platformer, you have to use the thumbstick, and sometimes I like the D-pad for the, kind of like Cuphead or something like that. So
precise stuff,
but very cool. It very unique, like I said, art style. It's basically about this boy who gets sucked into this video game console. It's like in the 80s, and you're in the Narita 1 is what it is, and it's about him finding out the story of the creator, which is called him, like this virus that infected it. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it's very cool, you guys. So I do recommend Narita Boy. The difficulty's not too hard so far, but I guess there's a level where you're like, it's kind of like the Battletoads, were the famous level where you're on like those jet skis or something like that. You jump over. I hear it's bad. Like, and hopefully they patched it by now, because I've seen this in the reviews. Like, that's the only bad part of the game, but awesome soundtrack, satisfying combat, unique art style. You guys, Narita Boy, highly recommend. And supposedly it's only like 8 hours, but I've been taking my time with it. So these two games, Narita Boy, Streets of Rage 4, I would have never played if it wasn't on Game Pass. I might have eventually checked out Narita Boy, and bought it on sale, but dude, the Game Pass is awesome. And hopefully if there's anybody out there who's a developer, Game Pass is awesome, and it's a great discovery tool, and I would have never played these games if it wasn't for Game Pass. So that's what I've been playing. Does anyone else want to add any other things?
Well, do you want my official Yakuza?
Oh yeah, let's go into that.
Or?
So let's hear from Bubble Boy. I'm gonna have to add this to the notes. Somebody add this to the notes here. We are going to get an official XRT review for Yakuza Like a Dragon. Take it away, Bubble Boy.
So I'll start with the cons, and it was too long. It just was. Cora and Ashley even mentioned something one of the last days. They were like, "Have you really not beat this yet? Like, we're tired of it." They're like, you need to finish this already." So, and too much dialogue. We talked about this a little bit the last time, and I am a fan of JRPGs where you do a lot of the reading. That doesn't scare me away. It was just unnecessary. Too much on this one. Like, it wasn't all that. It didn't necessarily always move the story forward. It was too much. It broke up the actual playing too many times. The combat was really repetitive. And again, they had this full-blown job system where you could choose between like 12 different jobs. I didn't change jobs once. There was one of the characters, one of the girls that you play as. I changed her job at the very beginning to something that could be more of a support class. And never again, not for a single one of the characters did I change jobs in, because it took that long to get their jobs all the way up to where they needed to be to finish some of the end game stuff. So that just felt weird. I was like, why put this in? It was clearly a very big part of the game, going in and changing jobs and stuff. But I was like, why would you do that? And then it's utterly useless. So, and it doesn't reward you for changing jobs. It punishes you for changing jobs. So those were the cons. The pros, it looked beautiful. It was gorgeous. I mean, when you load it up, it zooms in on his back and this dragonfish tattoo that he has on his back, and man, his skin looks real, and that was really cool. Something that I didn't notice at first, and then as the story went along, I was like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. So for a game, especially a game about the Yakuza, right, the Japanese mafia, your characters never actually commit murder, which is kind of cool. And towards the end, you get to really see them try and struggle with blurring or crossing that line. And I won't give away any spoilers or anything, and maybe kind of already did there, but it is cool to me that there's a video game that comes out nowadays and doesn't have to do with guns, and it's certainly violent in a sense that you're fighting a lot, but they even take it a step further on that fighting and make it kind of whimsical and magical and explain why it looks that way, which I thought was kind of cool. So that was just kind of different. The map size, I think especially Diwali and Chapeau would both appreciate that it's not massive. You could probably run from one corner to the other. And I mean, if you just straight run and didn't have any fights, like maybe 5 minutes tops. So that's kind of cool. But they find ways to refresh it every once in a while. And then they open up a couple of other much smaller cities. So it feels plenty big to me. So I loved that. And then the last pro, which was really caught me by surprise, was, so the city is Ijincho that you're playing in, and it served not just as a setting, but it was like a character in itself. And without giving away too many spoilers about that, I really appreciated that, where the setting plays a huge, huge role in the story itself. And it's more like a character than it is a setting. And I thought it takes some really talented writing to pull something like that off, and I felt like they did. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And again, I think on some platforms that might be a disparaging score, but I don't think it is at all. It was a good game. I enjoyed playing it. It was just a little bit too long for me. So recommended for the price of free, especially you, Cordy Morgs. You got to get on and play it, and it'll take you back to your days in Nihon.
Shout out to Cordy Morgs.
Did they ever have the Chuhais?
I never ran into a Chuhai.
Is that what they call it out there?
No. Haichu's a candy.
Chuhai.
Haichu's a candy. Chuhai's a drink.
Okay. They're not related.
Yeah. And they had tons of booze. Like, that's a big part of the game, is eating and drinking. Yeah. They had a lot of like Suntory whiskey, Jose, and canned whiskey, and he was drinking sake back out of a little, great way. I know, sake and plum wine out of a little glass jar.
Ooh, I do love some plum wine though.
That's right, good. But no Chuhai, which was a little strange.
Would you play the other Yakuza games now, or did this deter you, or would you watch them on YouTube? Which
yes.
I also think.
No, I would want to play at least one, but I can't tell you why. And it's a massive spoiler.
It's tied into this? Well, then you got to go back and start from the beginning. You should play Zero. It looks really good.
Yeah. I started on I started on my iPad when I got the invite for the beta.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for the review.
Thanks, man. That's cool.
I definitely think you should start at 0. So let's get into the news, boys. We are going to start with this one, and this kind of ties in with what I was saying earlier about beating Doom on easy, the DLCs, of course. I did beat the normal game on the normal standard difficulty. So basically, there's this tweet that went around. I'm just going to read about the tweet, but Xbox's Twitter account said this tweet. It said, beating the game on the lowest difficulty is still beating the game. And then this was followed up by Double Fine, who, is developing and making Psychonauts 2. They said, completing Psychonauts 2 with the invincibility toggle on still counts as beating the game. So basically, guys, there's a lot of conversation going around on the internet about accessibility, well, not necessarily accessibility, difficulty in video games, and whether or not all games should have an easy mode, or if certain games shouldn't have an easy mode, or if you're reviewing a game, you should only play it on the standard difficulty, and beating it on easy with all invincibility isn't really a good review. I wanted to get your thoughts on beating a game on easy and whether or not that counts as beating a game. So, Chance, go ahead. How would you like to start?
Yeah, and I know I've been talking, so sorry, Chapeau, but I do have some pretty strong feelings on this one. That if it's what you enjoy and it makes you happy and it's fun, of course. And Chapeau, that's why I wanted to start, because I want to then ask you this question and you can finish, Chapeau, is like, we'll give you crap every once in a while because I know you're normal all the way, right? Like regular mode, normal mode, blah, blah, blah. And Dan will
Normal's for rich people. I go easy a lot of times too.
Yeah. He's like, come on, this is what gives me pleasure. Why would you yes, we make fun of Jose a little bit sometimes, but like, why would you want to take that away from someone? I can give him crap, but to be like, oh, you shouldn't be allowed, or that's not the right way to play the game. Well, the right way is to have fun and not hurt anybody while you're doing it. So Chapeau, is that?
Yeah, no, I fully agree. So one of the reasons we talked about starting this podcast obviously was about positivity and negativity in the gaming universe. And for a very long time, unfortunately, there has been a lot of negativity around this idea of get good. Communities where, like, if you can't complete on the insane level, and if you can't do the mode where you only get one life to finish the game, you shouldn't be here. I would say if you can do that, that's incredibly impressive. Like, I'm not lessening people that have those skills, because I think that is truly really impressive. It's not the world that I live in, and it's not the world I want for myself and even for my kids to play games. Like, I want it to be fun, and I think making it manageable is fine. I also we've talked about this even when we were talking about some of the money stuff, like the small transaction systems. I like the idea that there's tiered rewards. Like, I think it's fine in a game if you have alternate endings. I actually think that's a cool way to write games, if you can write the story like that, where, like, if you completed a higher level, you either get a more detailed ending or you get a different ending. I think that's a cool way, because the other reality is, and not to be like the cheater here, but like if I only have time or the desire to finish on normal or easy, but I really want to know what that other story was, I am never going to go finish that game, but I can go to YouTube and watch the game after I play it. You know what I'm saying? And still kind of been able to keep up with you guys who probably did actually earn that achievement. And that's why, like, I think it's cool that achievements are there and trophies and stuff as well. But that's not what drives me to play games. So I think this is really cool. Psychonauts, I think, is a cool example too about Double Fine, and then I'll pass it back to Diwali. I think it is cool that they're having an invincibility. Sorry, that's the word I was trying to say. Not invisibility, invincibility toggle. Because again, I'm trying to think about, like, young kids, right? Like the level of game we played when we were much younger, like under 12, was very different. They were platformers. They were basically all the same game with different sprites and skins. And to be able to be 12 years old now and play games that are like, this is insane. I'm a 30-year-old man and I can't beat these games. How would you expect that for a 12-year-old? I think it's cool that they're building in ways to kind of get the next generation hooked, because the other part you have to think about, just to get a little bit into, like, the economics of this and the psychology of this, is a lot of young kids don't play games like this. They play games on their phones that are like Candy Crush and stuff. And I'm not hating on those games. I like those games. But if you want to have an audience that's there in 20 years, you got to build that support now. And so I think it's a smart move as well. Dan, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I completely agree with Xbox's tweet and Double Fines as well. I have no problem with people beating a game on easy, or versus Chance over here beating Sekiro and rubbing in our faces all the time about how he's the only one who beats Sekiro. I don't care. Neither should anybody else. Like, who cares if you beat it on hard? That's great, Chance. That's awesome. And I'm just joking with you.
I did not beat it on hard. I beat it on normal.
Exactly.
And just beating it was.
And I don't understand this whole argument. Well, that's the purpose of a Souls game, and people should be able to play it if they can't stick with it. That is stupid. Put an easy mode on there. More people will play it, and more people will enjoy it and get into and buy more games if they can play it. Sure, I understand they developed the game to be played at a certain level, and that's fine. They have the right to do that, but it hurts absolutely nobody to put it on easy. It doesn't affect you playing it the way you want to. It just makes it more accessible to more people. I am dumbfounded by this argument. I don't understand why difficulty is so controversial, and I'm all for I beat things on easy all the time, and I've also beat things on veteran, like some of my craziest achievements, and they're there. Like I have the proof, but sometimes it also comes down to time. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there were times where I put that down to easy because I'm like, I just don't want to grind out these battles over and over and over again, And then Control has an invincibility mode, and I used it on the DLC because I'm like, I've done this combat, I've done these battles over and over. I just want to get through this. I don't want to die. I know if I die, I'm gonna have to go all the way back to a stupid point. I'm like, I just want to save time, so I put it on, and I have no shame in doing that. I beat the normal game. This is extra. I just want to experience the story. I put the invincibility on at times because I'm like, I just want to save time. So I completely agree with Xbox on this. I think it's ridiculous. Some people having such huge issues, especially with the Dark Souls. It seems like a lot of people get so angry about having an easy mode on that in Sekiro. So I'm all for it. I have no problem with it. If you want to beat games on hard, by all means, you can be a badass and do your own. So do you guys have any other closing thoughts on this?
I think too, like this is just part of what kind of fuels that social media conversation, right? In terms of like when we grew up too, there wasn't a platform to say all that, but like I think of like, do the people that are going on there and being upset with me playing a game on easy mode not have anything better to do or more time? Like why would it even matter? Why do you get to have an opinion on what makes me happy inside my own home that isn't hurting anybody else, right? Like it just boggles my mind. Agree. But and of course, as always, Microsoft has handled it extremely well.
Dude,
just
their
like
Twitter's on fire.
That new the console war thing where they just said let's
where they like
the achievement for love. Right?
Or did you see the one about the PS5? Where like to all those people who say PS5 better is in our comments, they're like, just remember the console you have the most fun on is all that matters. Saying like, hey, if you love PS5, that's great. You're gaming and having fun. Like how, dude, they're killing it, man.
Yeah, their media team is killing it right now for sure.
Awesome. And that's a great model. Like we all play on different platforms. We just happen to enjoy Xbox, and like we shouldn't be hated on for that. I don't get it. If you enjoy games, that's all that matters. And if you're a fan, if you're a real fan and a real gamer, you want more people to play, because the more people play, the more money you come into this and the more experiences people have and the better game. Like we get better products as a result. Microsoft failing so badly with the Xbox One has given us a Series X, which is an amazing console, and Game Pass, because they made horrible mistakes last generation, and the competition is only getting better, and the more and more people we have, it's great for the industry. And so let's move on from this, guys. I beat the game on whatever level you want, and if somebody beats the game on easy, good for them. If they had fun, like Chan said, that's all that matters. So moving in to more kind of Xbox and accessibility, Microsoft's app, the Xbox app, now lets you set spending limits for children accounts. You can approve purchases and view spending history. So Microsoft's free Xbox Family Settings app now lets you manage a child's account spending power with a set of handy new tools. And this is from Tom Phillips over at good old Eurogamer. And you can set a limit by manually adding money to the Microsoft account and removing the ability to purchase with a credit or debit card. And you can also limit time and all this other stuff. And I just wanted to bring this up because, yes, we are middle-aged. We have children. Jose, I'm going to throw it over to you. Does spending concern you at all with your children and like on their iPad? Have you ever had an issue where kids have, or Chance, you too, have purchased something through their iPad or iPhones or gaming? Obviously, this is a great tool and this is an extremely positive thing. And of course, it's good for us because we grew up with games, and now we are going to be aware of everything. We're not going to be like our parents being like, yeah, go ahead, buy Resident Evil 2 and play that, whatever. You're only 11,
Oh, I already did.
So we are ahead of the game. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to be great when it comes to letting our kids play certain games. But Jose, what do you think of this feature?
I mean, I think it was a very smart move on Microsoft's part. I think it was honestly a natural thing to come. I mean, if you look at the projection of basically everything in the digital world over the last, I don't know, decade, it was inevitable. But I am also in a fervent supporter of this kind of system. So as Dan said, as a father of two children, both of my daughters do have iPads. They're very old iPads. They were like hand-me-downs and stuff like that. One of the very first things I did when they were born was create like an Apple account for them, and I have family sharing stuff in my household. And I'm not like a helicopter dad where I check everything they do all the time on their iPads, but I did set it so when they want to buy something, they have to request it, and it's actually a beautiful system. Like they want an app, even if it's a free app, it'll send a message to me saying, "Do you want to let Penelope download this coloring book?" I say yes on my watch or my phone or my iPad or whatever, and then she just downloads it. And as they get older, as they want to start having things that do cost money, whether they're apps or maybe a DLC if they get into games, or just you get obviously free parts of apps and then you have to buy more of them. For a long time, I think even myself, it was a weird idea to spend money on apps. Like it felt like I was being cheated. I was like, oh my God, $4 for an app. That's what a ripoff. And then as more and more, I just realized like, God, I would go to Taco Bell and drop $15 one night on food. Why would I not spend $8 on this app that I really want, or $2 on this app?
Not only that, but I prefer buying apps now just so I avoid the stupid ads popping up everywhere.
Yeah. And so
I think $4. Okay.
Yeah. Software for my computer, media. Like I still buy digital movies like that are just mine that I own on iTunes because I want to have them like to show to my kids and stuff. You can't always find every movie you want on streaming services. I think it's a great system, and I think it's really smart to give parents the control. And I think more and more parents, especially our generation as a parent, are not afraid of like setting up those accounts and setting up limits and having conversations about that stuff, because I think there has honestly been multiple generations over the last, 50 years who just, it kind of went by the wayside. Partially it was the technical know-how. Some of it was like the distrust. I mean, I still remember my mother, the first time I wanted to buy something on eBay, I was like in high school, and she was like, "We are not putting our credit card in the internet thing. They're going to steal all of our information right away. It's going to be a huge problem." And I was like, "Mom, no, it's like, they have really great like authentication. It's not going to happen." She's like, "I refuse." And now my mom buys stuff from eBay like once a week now, and Amazon, stuff like that. So I think it's a natural growth where we're headed, and just a smart system. One last point, and then I'll pass it over to Bubble Boy, is it also applies to things like debit cards. I know it sounds crazy for me to say that. I have a 6-year-old and I'm thinking about getting her like a debit card. I'm not going to get her a debit card yet, but there are cards designed to teach kids how to take care of money. And as a former economics teacher, as an educator today, that is a serious problem for a lot of our youth, that they just don't know how to manage money in a realistic way. And again, it's part of it is because it exists in this digital fiat kind of idea where why is it valuable? Because it is. It's a number on a screen, but it's valuable. I think it's important for us to kind of help them with that. And again, not to be helicopter parents. I mean, I guess if you want to, that's your prerogative, but just to be aware and engage and have that with your kids. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, and paying digitally is less tangible than like paying with money, like our parents always did all the time. Like,
or you did. You had your jar of money, your piggy bank, whatever.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
Like, we're gonna go to the store, bring your money, and you like, it's everything now. It's like, well, how much money do I have? I have $12, and we all just know you do, even though it's on my phone now. You know what I'm saying?
Chance, what about you? Has Cora ever purchased anything illegally?
Well, yeah, I back up a little bit first, because I can remember it wasn't that long ago when D-Wally would go for Chipotle Wednesdays, and there was that Chase Bank across from the Chipotle, and you're like, oh, I got to get my $50 for the week, right? My cash. And it's not a thing, and it will be hard to explain to a kid nowadays, like, the value of money when it is just a number, like Chapo said. I think that's just fascinating to me. And like, well, what if I just put a 0 at the end of it? Why can't I do that, or write some code that does that? And it's a little, I don't think about it too much, because then it starts to scare me. But like, what does happen, when that all goes away, like on iRobot?
And it's weird,
not iRobot, Mr. Robot.
And like, I think it's even weird too. Like I rarely use my Apple Wallet. You don't even need your wallet anymore. I'm pretty sure they're talking about maybe like a digital license or whatever. Like that's speaking of being tangible, you're not even gonna have to pull out a credit card or your ID anymore, and I'm all for it. Like, I love the future and I embrace technology. I think we're a great age where we've gone from the analog
nothing
to
to
the
everything.
digital, right? So
yeah, most certainly, and I'm not bagging on any of it. And so to speak with Cora, I love anytime you can make a learning experience out of it. Right. And so that it's not just a click on a screen and something that comes to me immediately. And so I haven't set up family sharing, but I love Chapeau that it alerts me so that I can, hey, Cora, let's talk about this. And it's not like, let's talk about the content. And is it rated M? Because you probably shouldn't be clicking that. You're 5. Like, more just, hey, Daddy, here's something I want to buy. Did you do your chores this week? Did you feed the dogs this morning? Something that creates that human interaction again, so that they don't just become accustomed to click, get.
Yeah. No, great points. And I really like what Jose said is our generation, I feel like that's one of the main reasons why this is probably happening now, is that their parents our age who are in the gaming industry like, hey, we got to figure out a good way to do this. And parents our age will utilize this technology, whereas maybe our parents definitely would not have if it came on. I mean, could you imagine like someone's grandma trying to do this? No. And hopefully it's more accessible. But speaking of being a kid and enjoying the good old days of Nickelodeon and whatnot, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was announced. This is coming from Nibel over on Twitter. Coming this fall to PS4, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and Switch. Basically, you got what you've been asking for, Shady. You've got a Nickelodeon. What the heck is that stupid Nintendo game?
Smash
Brothers game.
No, Mario Party.
No, this
is not Mario
game.
Party. This is Smash.
No, but that's what I've been asking for.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I don't think I've ever actually played Smash Brothers.
Okay, so this brings me to my point. I really don't care about this game. I'll be perfectly honest. Who cares? I never liked Smash Brothers. I'm with you, Chance. I don't understand why people love that game. I wanted to bring this story up because what is your guys' favorite Nickelodeon cartoons from growing up as a child? I'll go first. Actually, no. I'll let you guys go. Jose, what was your favorite Nicktoon growing up as a young little?
I mean, probably the one that was the most, like, I can remember consciously watching that I really liked was Odd Real Monsters. I don't know if you remember that one. It was a great show. It was like in the same era of like Hey Arnold and Rocko's Modern Life. I also liked Rocko's Modern Life a lot. I wanted to like Ren and Stimpy. It just like
it was weird, man.
It was weird, man. And
I wasn't allowed to watch that show.
Yeah,
there was
very
some
controversial.
Weird stuff in there.
Talk
if you go
about
back and watch
some rated M stuff. Yeah,
it's weird. I was listening to Knockback, the Moriarty brothers, as I've told you about, and they did an episode because Dagan's an illustrator cartoonist, and he talked. They did a whole episode on Ren and Stimpy, and like if you listen, like you should listen to it. It's really interesting. The guy who created it, it's very bizarre, and the stuff they got away with too.
Because remember they used to do like those zoomed in shots that were like ultra HD, and I was like, even as a kid, I was like, this is weird, man.
No, there's some weird stuff going on in that show. I highly recommend listening to the Knockback episode on Ren and Stimpy, you guys. Chance, what about you? What was your favorite Nicktoon?
Doug and Rugrats, and it was kind of a tie,
Rugrats,
I think.
man.
But man, those two both just and good old Patty Mayonnaise.
Oh,
baby.
Patty Mayonnaise. I was gonna say Doug for me was up there, and Rocko's Modern Life. I remember I thought Rocko's Modern Life was like the funniest thing ever, and I was like, I'm a cool like preteen teenager, and Rocco was hilarious, like. And Doug was awesome. And what was his alter ego? He used to wear Quail Man. Yeah. That's right, with this belt and the underwear
outside.
Good old days, you guys. Go ahead, Jose.
I was going to say, shout out. The other thing, I don't know if you guys have watched it yet with your kids, but I will give props to Nickelodeon. When they did the Ninja Turtle reboot, not the newest one where Raph has like the skull cap again, but there was one that was like all CGI. It was really good, dude. I really liked it. I watched it with Penelope about a year and a half ago, right before COVID was starting, and she even really liked it because they did all of the old bad guys again. So it was like Baxter Stockman and the Mousers and stuff like that. And it was just cool. I really enjoyed it myself. Like I wanted to watch it with her. So I will give him credit for that. And to bring it back to the game, I also don't have any interest in this game. And I actually do like Smash Brothers. Like, I own Smash Brothers. I like the game. I think it was the idea of having all these characters fight each other is really cool. I'm not very good at it. I have students that could like destroy me in it, but the Brawlers is just, it's clearly them trying to like capitalize on that with their own IP. I give them credit that they did put 2 turtles in there. They put Leonardo and Raphael.
Yeah, but they only did like...
They only did 2 of them,
yes.
which is weird. Why didn't you
no,
do
it
a
wasn't
turtle?
Raphael. It wasn't
Michelangelo,
like,
maybe.
Yeah, I think it was Leo.
They
and
couldn't
Mike. I'm like,
afford
where's
it.
Donnie and Raph?
Yeah,
they were like, the royalties were a little too much.
Yeah,
It's pathetic.
I'm not gonna
that makes
play
no
this
sense.
Game. Yeah, I know.
They should have another character that's just pants then. Like just the bottom half of them, just to make fun.
I mean,
of
they have a lot they could pick from. You know, I think it.
Reptar, baby, Reptar.
Yeah, Reptar's in it. He's one of them for sure.
Anyway, Chance, can I ask you why you never got into Smash? Because I agree, I don't get it. I don't get Smash at all, you guys.
You know, I've never loved fighting games unless it was Mortal Kombat, and now Injustice, of course. I just I don't know. Even those, like, I can do for a minute when they come out, and I'll play them pretty hardcore. And
yeah, you actually are probably the only one who
I have a
plays
hard
fighting
time.
games.
Sorry, say that again.
You're the only one who really plays fighting games. Out of
No, Cordy's big time.
Well, I mean,
think of all his dojo texts.
Yeah, I'm talking about XRT, but I'm just saying. I hear Injustice has a great campaign.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. So I think one of the reasons that I never latched on was because there's just so little story involved. And Jose had mentioned it in a couple episodes back, the Twisted Metal Black. I can remember that when each character had their own really full-fledged story that was really cool. And Injustice does the same kind of thing. And Mortal Kombat kind of, they do too. Those other ones, I don't know.
To be fair, in the newest Smash Brothers, the one that came out for Switch, they did try to make it a story. Like, there's actually a story mode where there's like a world and you have to go to like your character like moves here and then you fight this person and then you can like choose and stuff. They really did try to do that. It's just all the characters come from different games. So it's like, how do you write a massive story that it really incorporates everyone that actually makes sense and is engaging and that kind of stuff? So I give them props, and it is a fun game. I mean, it's just it's like any fighting game. If you want to be good, you have to invest just a ton of time, like that dojo time, like Court says. And yeah. And
that's one that I will enjoy playing with friends, but I can't because there's such a stark discrepancy between if I've played for even 1 hour versus someone who just picked it up versus someone like Court. It's genuinely not fun to play with someone who isn't at the exact same level as you.
Just like going skiing or golfing. Moving on, I wanted to talk to you guys about this story. I want to hear what you think. I know none of us have actually held a PS5 DualSense controller, but I want to give credit. I pulled the tweet from Nibel over on Twitter, but the original story came from Kind of Funny. They had Phil Spencer on the Kind of Funny Games cast, and Phil Spencer said this. Speaking as part of the latest Kind of Funny Games cast, Spencer said that Xbox probably wouldn't release any major accessories such as VR headsets in the near future, but suggested that an updated controller was far more likely to happen. When I think about our hardware roadmap, I really love the evolution of Liz Hammer's team and the work that they've done, we're definitely thinking about different kinds of devices that can bring more games to more places. There's probably some work that we'll do on the controller. I think Sony's done a nice job with their controller, and we kind of look at some of that and think that there are things that we should go do. So I wanted to hear your opinion, guys. Do you want to have more of the vibration and the haptic feedback that the DualSense people have been raving about is the best part of even the PS5 is the new controller? And what are your feelings in general about the vibration function? So Jose, why don't I throw it over to you? What do you think?
Two things here. So one is I do applaud Xbox for even entertaining this, and whether this is lip service, right? And Phil Spencer's just being a cordial guy and saying like, look, I recognize their competitors, but they make good stuff too. I think that's a class act thing to do. And it's helping the whole gamer space that like, It doesn't matter what you play. If you like PS5, play PS5. If you like Xbox, play Xbox. I think
you can play xCloud or cloud streaming with a DualSense controller.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. In terms of my preference is a plain controller. Like, I think where a lot of the controller conversations come from is history, right? There was a period of time in our youth to like teenage years where controllers every generation were a freaking crapshoot. You went from the NES controller to the SNES was like not a big jump. You had a couple more buttons, and then you go 64 where 3 handles and the camera button, and then you go GameCube, which was totally different, in Dreamcast, and I think we've really balanced out. I think there's just become kind of a standard, like what we want is two kind of joysticks. We want a D-pad, we want the buttons, and then there's just variety within that, because it turns out that's what research shows. That's what's comfortable. That's what people are used to. That's how they can function. And so I think we're kind of past those days of these bizarre controllers. And so in that sense, like, I guess if they added it and if they could make it intriguing and engaging, cool. I'm not against it by any means. But it was never a make or break deal for me, because the other part, yeah, people do rave about it, but it's only in a handful of games. And while those games are probably really great and really awesome, I know the robot one that comes with the PS5 is supposed to be really awesome. I would definitely check it out if I ever played that game or if I ever got a PS5. But I just, again, think it's one, really humbling of Xbox to congratulate them, two, to admit that they might consider what they're doing, to say, like, look, we thought we had the best design. That's a better design. We're going to copy that. I think that's just a smart, it's like learning from the Xbox One.
Let me interrupt you right there, Jose. They still have the best design. It's not about design. It's about vibration function. That's it, not the design. Well, Xbox controller, hands down, the best, most comfortable, amazing design ever.
Continue. I agree with you fully. I just think, again, it's notable that they're not doubling down on we're right and they're wrong. That they're saying, like, look, if this is a feature that actually everybody wants, let's look into building into it. We'll keep obviously our aesthetic and stuff, but we could add that technical aspect as well. So that's my thoughts. Bubble Boy?
I love the lack of ego, like you said. Anytime you take your ego out of it and you just admit, like, maybe somebody else did something better than us, you're only going to improve things for everybody. However, with that being said, I've said this before too, the main out-of-the-box regular Xbox controller is the Cadillac of controllers, while the Elite Wireless 2 is the Rolls-Royce, whatever, pick your favorite kind of car of controllers. It does not get better than that. I don't know what else they do to improve upon it. And sometimes if it ain't fixed, don't broke it, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. I love my Elite. I don't know how you can make it better. And what the funny thing is I hear a lot of people, I don't know what they call it, the haptic triggers, or that there's like tension. A lot of people complain about them, especially in first-person shooters. So, like, after playing with it, this gets super annoying, and they turn it off. And I'm actually a player. I turn off my vibration for most games, especially when I'm playing first-person competitive shooters. Turn it off, because that affects your aim right away. And I know some people like to feel the vibration, but I turn it off a majority of the time. Even if I'm playing like a single-player campaign, I turn it off and I don't really miss it. Like, vibration is cool, but then there's some times where it's just annoying just on normal. So I can't imagine this new haptic vibration or whatever that is. And then I was going to say, I think you're right. It's super cool that they're, saying, yeah, what Sony did is awesome. And, if people want it, and I have heard that there have been those surveys that have been sent out to Xbox Insider saying, hey, would you be interested in this kind of feature in your controller? Who knows if it'll happen, but I think it would, if they want to add it, by all means, go ahead. But it's got to be an option. Everything needs to be an option, because I've heard a lot of people actually complain, and they don't like it about the DualSense. They actually like the new feel of it, which is great, and I'm excited to hear. But I'm also surprised that Sony doesn't have some sort of back attachment. Like, that's huge. They have one for the PS4, but not having the paddles on the back, like, I don't know if I can play a PS5. I don't know if I can get a PS5 until I have the option to have the paddles, because I feel like that's more of a game changer.
Oh yeah, dude, game changer.
Than the vibrations or trigger pulls or whatever the DualSense has. Chance, I know you were a fan of the speaker in the controller, and I remember whenever I played a game with that on PS4, it just kind of freaked me out. But, like, would you want the speaker telling you random stuff? Like, and by the way, I feel like the touchpad, that's just completely worthless, besides it's just being another gigantic button on the PlayStation. Can we all agree on that? Like, when have you done anything but press that?
Used it.
Totally. And it's one of those things that it depends on how much they're willing to micromanage developers with it, right? Like if they want a speaker in it, then they have to say, guys, look, this is what we're trying to do. Help us out here. Or they take all their first party developers and say, you don't have a choice, make it good. Because the second it turns into something that is an afterthought, like the, why can't the Kinect? Couldn't even, my memory.
Xbox, record this.
Or that trackpad, useless. But there were, I'm trying to think of, I think it was on Uncharted 4, you would get a little like dingling sound when you were close to a treasure, something like that. I played a couple of games where I felt like it was used well.
It was in Horizon. I know it's definitely something
maybe that's what I remember you were
Aloy.
mentioning it and you're like, this is so cool, and I was like, is it?
I mean, it's cool, but it would be the same if I heard that on the screen. Like there's a little noise to know that you're
or
near
like
treasure.
what if you're wearing
like,
headphones? Okay. Like that's another thing. It's like most of us.
I think it fed through the headphones as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying like it's only kind of more cool if you're playing through speakers that you're not wearing headphones and you're like, oh, I'm hearing it down, and where I'm holding the controller.
Totally.
But
totally.
I mean, I'm one of those. I really don't care. Like Chan said, the Elite is hands down the best controller, and I feel like if anything, PlayStation needs to add paddles, or Xbox. It give there an option for. I said this before. The standard Xbox controllers to have some sort of back paddle attachment, so people don't have to buy an Elite to get the paddles or a Scuff or whatever. So, good thoughts, boys. Let's move on to this next one, and I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on this. Today, and we're recording on Monday, so I've switched up the stories a little bit, but we got a new Ubisoft game announced, Tom Clancy's X Defiant. Wow, is all I'm going to say. I hope you guys saw this trailer. Chance, what did you think?
Can I go last?
Okay, Jose.
I would love to talk about a Division Warzone, because that's basically what this is.
Is it? It looks...
So here's the thing. I think I will commend Tom. Which developer is it with Tom Clancy?
Ubisoft.
Thank you. They're clearly trying to get in the game, right? With everybody doing the
hero shooter,
Warzone type games. Like that's clearly what this is.
No, not Warzone. This is like a hero shooter game. Like no, it's not like Warzone. It's more like a Valorant. And what's the other one?
Overwatch.
Overwatch, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but it's still a battle arena game, right? Like it is like
modern shooter.
Valorant's a good comparison. I mean, I've always thought that the Division world is a cool world. I mean, it does fit that with I like the classes thing. I think that's cool. I like that they said you could change it at any time you die, but you have to choose at this point, man. Like you just can't. You can't sink time into Valorant and Overwatch and X Defiant and Warzone and Call of Duty and Battlefield. It feels a little late to the game. I'll be real honest with you.
Yes.
But I'll be honest too. I also signed up for the beta. I mean, I don't want to knock it out. I don't want to knock it till I try it. I mean, maybe it is really cool.
Okay, guys, I got to interrupt right. This is why we have Tabo Bear on the show. He's trying to give this something positive here with X.
A fair shake.
I love it. I love it, Jose. Keep going.
I mean, I did think some of the character designs looked cool, but my biggest gripe with the Division was that it was really cool for like the first half of the game, and then you're just like, this is the same firefight, just with harder enemies again and again and again. And I mean, I guess that's what kind of multiplayer games are, of course, but I don't know. I want to give it a fair shake. I'm not super optimistic, but let's hear Mr. Positivity over here.
No, I'm going to say it right now, guys. Tom Clancy is rolling in his grave right now. And Ubisoft is just stomping on it and saying, hey, look at this caca we're making with your name on it. All right. Do you guys remember a game called Hyperscape?
Nope.
Exactly. Hyperscape was a battle royale game that came out last year from Ubisoft, and you guys have no idea what that is.
It wasn't Tom Clancy, was it?
Doesn't matter. It's a Ubisoft title. Trying to, like Jose said, hop on when it's already too late. There's only so much time. You've already got the big juggernauts with Warzone and PUBG and Apex Legends, Battlefield. You're going to have the new Halo Infinite. I am sorry. I love Ubisoft games. They used to be one of my favorite developers. I have no desire to play this whatsoever. I hate that this is what Splinter Cell has become, is skins of guys wearing Splinter Cell outfits instead of giving us a Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell game. Oh, we're going to use all of the characters from the worlds that we've created and throw them in a hero shooter game, and you're going to love it. I am so baffled by this game, and it's going to die just like Hyperspace did. And I'm sorry, I want to be positive, but this doesn't make any sense to me. Who knows? We're going to have Chipotle Bear there, signed up for the beta day one. He's going to bring back his impressions. Maybe he can sway me. But again, like Jose counter-argued himself about playing it.
I didn't counter-argue. I was trying to give it...
I know.
It hasn't even come out yet.
True. I should give it a fair shot. But I saw this, and I was just like...
Well,
wow.
and Dan, you hit the nail on the head, because I didn't watch it. I'll tell you that right away. And here's why: because I saw Tom Clancy, and I think I saw it
X-Defiant.
No, and it had a green tinge to it, right? And my heart jumped like, oh, Splinter stuff. Damn it! What if it's not? Come on, guys! Like, you know. And I don't want to be negative, but
It's modern warfare meets punk rock. Come on.
No,
that's literally the tagline.
That was literally their tagline.
Ubisoft meets shooters meets punk rock.
Somebody else tell me how it was. I'll be.
He did die, by the way. 2013. I looked it up.
Yes.
Tom Clancy.
And so they own the rights to his products and names or something. Like, it's crazy. So, Jose,
I'm sure his family is doing really well. I'm sure.
Well, yes, but
keep sending this trash out with his name on it. We don't care.
I don't get it. This concerns me on where Ubisoft is headed, you guys. I get it. They're trying to get more into this free to play, get multiple people to play, but I just don't know if this is why can't they make a Splinter Cell game like this? Like a Chaos Theory. Game. It was 2013.
It was a 360, right? It was a 360 game. Yeah.
It was right before. It was Blacklist, right before the 360 or the Xbox One came out.
Holy cow!
Exactly. We're coming up on.
And then
10 years.
he was in the Ghost Recon
Wildlands.
and
Did you see it? Did you play
it? He was in both. I played the one in.
Did you see that scene where he's like, there was another guy like me who used to, sneak around and do stuff. He's talking about Snake, and he's like, oh, somehow I hear he's not in the game anymore. He's like, oh, it's just me. And it's like the saddest scene you've ever seen. And he's not even, dude, this makes me sad thinking about freaking, oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
2013. Holy cow. There was I don't remember, gosh, what was it?
Do you remember the one where it was like 24? What was that Splinter Cell? That was good. I liked that one. A lot of people didn't like that one, but where he's walking around with the satchel and just, you had the pick off. Oh, that was so good. Give us a good 24 game, guys. Let's move on.
24 hasn't been a thing for a decade, brother.
Bring him back. Allie and I just finished one. I still need to send you the clip of when Allie saw I don't want to.
Oh, you can't say it. Yeah,
I know. Somebody dying to gas. Man,
you're just gonna need to trust me on this one.
She was just so good. Anyway, let's close off this week's news. Hyperscape. I'm still looking at that. This is coming from our friends at IGN and the good old, my favorite Xbox reporter, Ryan McCaffrey. Valve has announced the Steam Deck, a handheld gaming PC that runs your entire Steam library, but it's still a PC and can do other stuff too. And it starts at just $399. And basically there's this huge blowout, and I'm sure everybody's been talking about this. You know about this. What do you think of Steam's new handheld? Are you interested? Is this the Switch Pro we've been waiting for, gentlemen?
I'm not going to hate on it, and I think cool, awesome. Again, if that's something that brings more people joy and access to the medium that we love, great. I'm not going to buy one because I don't have any money invested in Steam and PC gaming. I tried when I got the Surface here, and it too much, right? Like it's just it felt like a race to try and keep up with all of it, and I'm comfortable and happy with my Xbox. I hope it does great. It looks like a really cool thing. Maybe something will come down the road from Microsoft similar. So,
Jose, what do you think of the Steam Deck?
I thought it was really cool. I actually watched a couple of videos on it this week. Not because I'm interested in purchasing one, very similar to Bubble Boy. Like I'm happy with my current system, and I I actually need to buy a new computer before I do that. But it was really impressive. I mean, just the field test that they were showing, what it can do, the specs on it are pretty baller, to be honest with you. And like it's not like a Switch in the sense that like it runs, but it's kind of pushing the system. It crushes games. And does some really impressive stuff. I also really think one of the most notable features, if you didn't know, is you can actually plug it in to a monitor and it will play. I think 4K. I might be wrong about that. Definitely 1080 though. Without a dock, so it's like kind of a Switch without a dock to do that kind of stuff. I think that's a really smart, flexible system. And again, I'm also not heavily in the Steam library. I think I have a couple games. One of them is Stardew Valley, which actually eventually got on the Switch, which is a great game. But I think it's cool. And I the other part that I think is really impressive, and again, going back to some economic principles, anytime you have competition, it is better for the customer, right? So the more companies trying to make the best product, it's going to be the best for us, whether that's in terms of price or power or both or offering. And so I think it's really cool that they're doing this because I think, one, it's finally a viable competitor to the Switch, even though there are lots of handhelds in the market right now, even knockoff ones that are trying to do what the Switch was doing. Nothing really was like the Switch. I mean, it was pretty flexible in what you could do. It was fun. It was engaging. It was great for kids. There was just nothing to really compete with it because it wasn't competing really with the Xbox and PS5, just especially in computing power and games and stuff. So I think it's cool that Valve's doing this, and I really hope it is successful. I hope lots of people buy it and really enjoy it, and maybe a couple generations down the road, this is something that comes to the Xbox, or maybe it'll be something tied with cloud gaming. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of kind of question marks, but I like to see people doing new stuff, and I also think it's pretty impressive that they got it under $500 again, because it's a pretty baller piece of equipment, and so I think that was really cool. So I wish them the best. I hope to see more about it in the coming years for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm on a kind of, it's what I wanted from Nintendo, and apparently there are rumors that they're not going to be a Switch Pro, and like what we have with the Switch is what we get. But
they gave you Pro, the OLED.
No, they gave me this Steam Deck. What's cool about it is, and I'm sure you saw this too, Jose, is that they're like, yeah, this is basically a PC, so there's no reason this can't hypothetically be a Game Pass machine, and we could play and maybe even download native Xbox games to it and play it. And I think this is really cool. But I did watch some YouTube videos on it, and one guy was saying that the base model you want to get away from because it's got like 64 gigs, I think, of memory, but it's like the slowest kind. And he's like, you got to get the SSD, or because you think you can put the micro SD to expand your memory, it'll be okay. And he's like, that's even slower. So he was basically saying, avoid that base model.
Yeah, they did say that the SSD was only on the middle and upper tier.
Get the SSD. Yeah. And at that point, you're spending $550. For $500, I spent less on my gaming laptop, and this thing is a beast. This thing can run Warzone at like 120 frames, which is crazy. This can play.
Yeah, but you have to have a mouse, and you have to have your.
Just a controller. I can just use a controller.
I mean, that's the
true.
That's the beauty of it.
I'm just saying, like, for that amount of money, it's like, can I justify buying that or buying a good laptop that, you're right, it's not as portable, but who knows how this thing looks like a beast. Like, let's be honest, this is Game Gear right here. Like, we'll see how it fits and controls and everything. I'm hoping that it does well for the next generation model of it, and I'm hoping maybe they can get better tech in there and slim it down. And I don't know about that joystick placement, but I do like that it has paddles on the back. I don't know if you saw or noticed that. Yeah. I thought that was a big deal.
I thought the mouse pads were really cool below the joysticks. I thought that was a cool idea.
But I mean, how often? It's cool, and I hear they work, but I'm just a thumbstick controller. I'm just old, set in my ways. So I did think that was cool, though, because even if I have a concern about switching over to push buttons, having the paddles, like I said, is a big deal. So I'm going to wait and see how it does and see the reviews. But I agree. This is competition that is needed. Someone needs to compete with the Switch. I wish it would be Microsoft, but I think Microsoft's being smart about this. Same with VR. They're just watching, and some people love VR, but I don't think it's taking off. And I don't think Microsoft thinks it is either, because otherwise they would have invested in this. So we'll see how this does. And if people can unlock it to where they can install Windows easily, and if you can run Xbox Game Pass natively on that, I think that'd be great. So good luck, Steam, to your new console. And that is all the news we have this week, guys. Good stuff. Bubble Boy, are we just going to do one Good Old Days or one reader mail. What did you guys want to do for this last?
Oh, that's up to you two. The good old days was talking about game guides, and the reader mail was about the female characters. So,
what do you both? Do? Yeah, we can. Let's do both. So, Bubble Boy and Seven is going to do. Let's do some reader mail.
Yeah. So I guess I'm going to cheat a little bit because she doesn't know how to spell words yet or type on a computer. But Cora had asked me the other day as we were playing Forza again.
Cora, Chance's daughter, fan of the show.
Yep. Shout out to Cora and Playground yet again, because her favorite thing about Forza is going and creating the character and putting sunglasses and the hat and the skirts and the shoes and all that kind of stuff, dressing her up, and then putting her in a convertible and driving around into trees and stuff. But anyway, so she was like, what other games have good girls in them, Daddy? And it got me thinking, right? Like, now that I am the father of a young lady, I do look at gender things a whole lot different than I used to as a young man growing up in a house of all boys. And so I started thinking about like what were some female leads that really would be someone that Cora could look up to, right? And so I'm not thinking like Lara Croft because she was one of the first.
That's the only one I could think of.
I'm sure.
No, there's a much more.
There's a lot, and I can.
Maybe you
and
guys
so Dan and you will like this one. So the first on the list is Aya from Assassin's Creed Origins. And I know that she wasn't a huge part of that game, but one of the things that I thought was really,
she was very
really
strong,
cool.
A warrior.
What?
I said she was very strong. She was an equal to...
Oh, yeah. I thought you said wrong. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I said warrior. Yeah.
She made some really, really difficult, like, personal decisions for the betterment of everyone else, right? And she also was credited with starting the creed of assassins, where you only murder if it's absolutely necessary and if it's for the greater good and it's going to stop something else, right? And again, for a medium that seems so easily to just take murder as a given, I thought that was really good writing and really cool. So Aya was on there. Alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, which I know, D-Wally, you haven't played. And Chapo, did you? I can't remember.
I did. I loved it.
Okay.
And I loved Aloy too. She was rad.
Yeah, so, and she just, aside from being super cool, she's someone who gets wronged without giving you too much, backstory, and finds a way to be able to kind of understand the people that wronged her and why that happened.
I haven't played this. No spoilers.
Yeah, I know. I said I'm going to try not to, but and really, really tries to be pragmatic about the whole thing and bring people together, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then the last one, and you're going to give me crap, but I promise I can defend this, Senua from Hellblade, and she just wins. Like, again, I can't say too much. Well, wait, no, you both have played it, right?
Mm-mm.
No, you haven't. Jose, you still haven't played Hellblade?
All right, add it to the backlog after Alan Wake immediately.
No, push Alan Wake.
No,
seriously.
No.
Push Hellblade. You can beat in 4 or 5
I've already
hours.
got Alan Wake downloaded. We're doing Alan Wake, and then I'll play Senua.
It's worth it, Jose. It really, and it's
and
quick.
Do
you
not look at a single thing. Do not read anything.
Headphones.
Do not.
I have it.
Yep.
I have it.
We
already passed that time where it's on social media, so I have it. Don't worry.
No, and I'm saying like for a guide, which we'll get into in a little bit because it'll spoil it. But what she is able to overcome, and I know she's a fake character, right? But what is putting out into the world, like, this is, I suffer from mental illness, but I'm going to battle it in my own way, and I'm still going to persevere and push through, and the sacrifices that she does make. It's just, aside from all the, like, scariness of the game and kind of creepy things, like, that's the kind of person that you would want a young lady to look up to. So
good thoughts. I'll go quickly. I'm not very good at this, and I can't really. I don't know if this makes me a bad person, but I can't.
He has 2 daughters, people. I just want you to know that.
Hey, I'm new to this. They're only 2, and I like what Chance says. I want strong female role models, but you know who I can think of right away? Right behind me, boys. Femship. I hear she's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't played with the Femship, but I hear great things. So maybe I need to play on when I do my PlayStation run. I'll do all renegade Femship, like
and
ultimate evil.
That's funny, and maybe I am sexist when I say this, because it was so much more satisfying playing Renegade as a femshep. It was just more believable to me. Like, she's like, because dudes just aren't as sensible as females are typically, right? And it's just like, nope, this is for the greater good. This is how we're doing. Suck it up and deal with it. Like, that felt the right way to play it.
I can think of strong female characters in like movies and film. You know, I think of President Taylor from 24. Jose, who can you?
When Chance asked this question, I didn't necessarily think it as characters that Cora could look up to. That puts a little different spin on it. But I was trying to think about notable female characters in early and current gaming. And so a couple of that I just quick ones. Cortana, I think, was a big one for Halo because she was kind of a side character to start and then eventually developed into a pretty main character by where we are now. So I thought that was really cool.
Very good one.
Another one was Chun-Li from Street Fighter. And I know she was hypersexualized. Like, I'm not saying she wasn't. And I'm not saying that I didn't fawn over her as a kid. I did. We all did. Especially Olivia Munn as her in IGN days. Loved that. That was great. But what I would say is she was also a badass. Like, she was a genuinely cool player to characters to play with. And
Olivia Munn, also Psylocke, sexy Psylocke in the X-Men movie. Shout out to Olivia Munn, fan of the show.
I thought Chun-Li was really awesome.
And she was the first. She was the first female in an obviously very male-dominated fighter genre.
Yeah. And then kind of in the similar vein, I'll put Sonya Blade in there because same thing for Mortal Kombat. She was a cool and Katana in the original ones. Some interesting ways of like the weapons. I like that Sonya represented. She was like the anti-Guile. So Guile was Street Fighter, right? The U.S. military force. And they didn't want to do the same thing in Mortal Kombat. So we have Sonya Blade, which is really cool. Samus Aran is obviously a big one for Metroid.
I'm shocked Dan didn't have that.
I thought he was going to
That's
Samus too.
Okay. But to be fair, a lot of people don't know that Samus is a woman. Like, that's not very well explained, or even when you play Super Metroid, you don't even know until the end, and when she takes off her helmet, like, you'd have no idea. Yeah. So I feel like that's a Nintendo.
But that was such a cool piece of that story, right? That like a gaming industry that was mostly probably male, definitely dominated by male. At the end, you realize like I've been this badass chick the whole time. I thought that was really cool. A couple other quick notable ones was Dixie Kong from Donkey Kong Country 3 again, because it was Donkey Kong, well, of course, and then Diddy Kong, of course, and then Dixie was 3, and it was really cool. Like, that was just a great transition for Nintendo. And in the same vein, even though it's kind of a silly one, Misty from Pokemon I thought was really notable because, again, like, it was a great way to get girls into the series, right? She eventually became a very powerful trainer in like the story and stuff, and was very well known. And then the last two, these were really the big ones for me. Like, when you actually asked this question, like the first two that popped into my head, one was Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. Because
I wanted so badly to put her on there.
Yeah, because Aeris was there too, and Aeris was like your healer, and obviously is a big part of the story. I don't want to spoil anything if you've never played it, but Tifa was. I just remember like I liked playing with her. She was an awesome part of my team. And when I finally took her out of my like active team, it was like a hard decision. I remember that as a kid.
Her story gets flushed out quite a bit in the remake, and really well done.
Okay. And then the last two, this is probably a given for me. If you've been listening to the show, if you know games that I love to play, the one that I have to put out there are Jill Valentine and Claire Redfield from Resident Evil. They're awesome chicks and they're great games. Those were some big ones for me. So that was a great question, man. Yeah, cool to think about it.
Good ideas. You guys did way better.
And D. Wally, you said you had two, but you only said femshep.
The other one was Jack.
I love Jack. She's my.
I mean, you're not wrong. And she's again. My bae. Talk about fantastic writing, man.
She's rad. She's a great character.
Her character and what she becomes,
especially if you romance her, she has some good.
And as we're all educators, the role that she ends up taking on in 3, I screenshotted a couple of sentences she had about her students. Because I was like, I want to make a poster of that and put it out in Gap. Like, that's really cool.
There's a teacher out there. You're right. She's a great one. So Mass Effect does have a lot of strong female characters as well. A lot of sexualized ones as well, but who cares?
Well, and to Chance's point, I think now that I have 2 daughters, when I have the choice of creating a female or male character, I actually lean a lot more towards making female characters than I did in my youth. It's fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay. And I think probably developers do too. And I know you guys hate this game, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Cassandra was
We didn't hate
it. We didn't hate it. It's just bloated.
Did you? So
I was
Cassandra.
Cassandra in Odyssey. I heard
Cassandra was like the way.
She was a great. It was the better
1,000 times
story.
better.
Yeah, she was great.
I don't know why, but like to me, it's like I don't know if I'm more of a traditionalist when it comes to that. I'm like, would she really be out there killing it? I don't know. When I think of
she
those.
kicked ass in my game. I'll tell you that.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, anyway. Those were really great answers, and I'm sure there's more we're forgetting. Like, I can't believe I forgot some of those Resident Evil ones. That's cool. I still like Lara Croft.
Well, the one that we didn't touch on was Peach from Mario.
And that's not a good female.
What about Selena Kyle from Arkham series, Catwoman? She's a great character.
Not that Lara Croft can't be on there too, but
I think the new Lara Croft was really good, especially in the reboot. By the way, I loved the reboot Tomb Raider. I think that and Shadow.
It was really good.
Those games are really good, by the way. I loved all of them. Not Shadow, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That was the best one. That was blew me away. So good question there, Cora. Thank you so much for submitting. If you'd like to submit your ideas for reader mail or the good old days, remember you can always contact us at xboxrecordthis@gmail.com. What's that email address again? One more time, Chapeau Bear.
xboxrecordthis@gmail.com.
Thank you.
/Alpha Planet.
Let's save the guides one for next week, guys. Let's just do one this week. We're doing really good on time here. Let's close, you guys, with our favorite segment. We all love video games, but our fat kid caca butts love food even more. Let's talk about the best food we had last week. Who would like to go first? Because I got a few.
Well,
and I'm going to take a long time.
Yeah, I'm going to defer to D. Wally because I had a crap week. So take it away.
No, let him finish. You got to do cleanup if he's got the best.
Yeah, I'll
start.
Go last.
You start, Bubba Boy.
No, I'm giving my time. It's like at a board meeting, right, where each only have 3 minutes. You're like, I'm going to give my 3 minutes to Daddy D. Wally.
Well, here we go, boys. I even wrote this down. Let's pull up the notes. So, first things first, I need to address this. I went to Burrito Express. I finally made it back to the motherland. Got me that breakfast burrito. Got the carne asada fries.
Was that an H in the front?
Yeah, carne. I can't roll my R's. All right, I'm not a real Mexican. So here's the thing. Breakfast burrito was good, but I was like, man, these seemed so much better back in the day.
They changed their bacon. That's what it is.
Yeah, something was a little off. I could tell. Okay. But the more salsa I added, I was like, phenomenal. Their salsa's still amazing. Red, hands down.
Red is the best, dude.
Oh my gosh, so good. Here's the thing. When I had the fries, first bite, I was like, this is not very good. And then I had another bite, and I was like, this is kind of bland. And wow. I was like, what was Jose talking about? Did
you get double steak, by the way?
Down the wrong path. No, just the standard. My wife picked it up. She got both. Allie had one bite. She's like, you can have mine. So here I am with 2 giant things of fries. I sent you guys the picture too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what brought it over the top, and I would totally get it again, and this was a huge mistake, is you got to get some of it, and then you got to dip it in the salsa, and then that made it go.
Oh, well, of course,
level.
Yeah.
You have to include the salsa on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys eat it plain by itself. It didn't taste that good. You have to just douse it in that delicious red salsa. So, Jose, I was a little concerned at first, but after I was like, what am I doing here? It's the salsa. You got to do the salsa.
Absolutely, it's clutch.
Took it to a whole nother level. I would get it again, but just barely. But overall, very delicious breakfast burrito. My God, guys, if you live in Colorado, make your trip to the Mecca. It's called Burrito Express. It's on Alameda.
No. Don't go there because if you want the experience we had in high school, you need to go to Tacos Rapidos on Federal and Evans. It'll taste like what we ate in high school. It'll be the same thing.
I'm writing this. Send me a text right now
so
I can
So go
this.
to Tacos Rapidos.
We're Federal.
Bring it back to the one on
by
Alameda.
Burrito Express.
Sit in
Federal
your car.
Federal and Evans. It's right across from Lincoln. High School.
That's right by where my aunt lives. So I got you. Okay,
go.
Got it.
It's amazing,
so
but not the one. There's 2 of them within 100 yards of each other. It's not the one that on.
Which one is it?
It's not the one on Federal. It's the one in the Walmart parking lot. That's the one you need to go to.
Send me the text with the address.
I'll send you the address. Okay. I'll drop a pin, as the kids say.
Oh, gosh.
Well, and pop quiz for bonus points here. What did Burritos Express originally open as off of Alameda?
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna ask me what was the original price, and I thought it was like $1.75.
Blimpie, right? Subway shop?
No, God, Chipotle, holy cow! You're probably right. I meant like it had a different name.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant too, Chance. It was a different name.
It was Taco Express at first.
You're right. You're right.
Because they were trying. They were like, well, Tacos Rapidos. Like we gotta gentrify this a little bit. Let's call it Tacos Express.
Dude, you're right.
I remember Google Translate.
I remember I was mad when they made that name change. Chance. I remember that. Okay.
Oh, I can remember. Like I'm still calling it Tacos Express.
Yeah.
God, that's right. Man.
The good old days, you guys. All right, next on my list.
But at the same time, I'm like, but I've never gotten a taco from here. So
true, very true. The next thing I had, and I was showing Chance this before you joined, Jose. I had me some Nerd Ropes. Delicious.
You found them. Where'd you find them at?
I got them at a 7-Eleven. And it was funny because I was getting an energy drink on my way back, and they were on
7-Eleven is the mecca of health food.
Oh, man, I love 7-Eleven. Grabbed 5 of those bad boys and gave Grayson like a quarter, and I ate the rest of them. They're only like 90 calories per row, but I'm like, of course I'm going to eat as many of these as I can.
Of course I got 5.
I also got some Mentos, the fruity ones, which are delicious as well. I don't know if you guys have had those.
Mentos?
The fruity ones are good.
Have you had the fruity Mentos?
They're really good.
Go buy that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Jose knows, especially the pink ones. Save the pink ones for last.
I like the orange
That
ones.
was another. I also had Chipotle again this week. I'm making
the rounds.
I know, dude. Like I'm all like, oh, I haven't had Chipotle in forever, and I've had it for 3 straight weeks. Allie loves it. I'm kind of questioning. I only bring this up. I don't know if I'm going to do the double meat anymore. I think I'd rather spend that girth and food and calories on like the guac and the salsa. Like, like Jose, have you done the double meat technique? Because it definitely worked. My burrito was massive this time, and I get no beans and rice either. And I was like, "This is a big boy," and it works.
I didn't because we got it this week, but we were doing it the pickup. We did pickup though, and if I put double meat, they're going to do the same scam. You have to do it in person.
You have to go in person. Don't do that. Go in person from now on.
No, dude, I'm picking up for like 7 people. You know how pain that is to order? I'm not doing that.
So here's the last thing I had this week, guys. And this one was hands down the best food I had last week. And this happened today. I was heading home from work. By the way, I'm back in person. Boo, back in person. But driving back, Chance, there is a Popeye's chicken very close to Aurora Central. Jose, you know where I'm going with this. I have not had the original chicken Popeyes sandwich.
Dude, it's next level.
The hype is real on this one, you guys. It is delicious. It gives Chick-fil-A a run for its money.
And I would choose Popeyes over Chick-fil-A. Straight up.
The chicken was juicy. It was huge. I should have sent you the picture. Actually, I should show it to you right now. And they only have like mayo. I didn't even get the spicy one. I can't wait to try the spicy version of it because I guess it's a spicy mayo they put on it.
Yep.
So why this is so good, I devoured it. And it was so good. This is hands down the second best. And I think the only reason why Chick-fil-A might stay number 1 is because they've got that insane sauce selection, right? And I'm wondering like if Popeyes had that, it might be number 1, you guys.
Did you try the blackened ranch at Popeyes?
Here we go. No, but look at that beast. Look at the size of ranch. Chance, look at how thick and meaty that one is. It was so good, you guys. So shout out to Popeyes. This lives up to the hype. Chance, have you had the original chicken sandwich from Popeyes?
I'm not going to answer that question on air.
Ashley's right next to him in the room. What? That's why it's going to be like,
she literally did.
Have chicken sandwiches?
She did just walk in. No, because my students would murder me. I have not had one yet. And
my God, dude.
We made the executive decision one time, I'll never forget, to shut down class just a little bit early because I had the entire class. Kids were like, "Mister, you don't understand. If you don't let us go right now, that 1 minute makes 2.5 hours worth of a difference." And
but you remember that from high school. It was like that in high school.
No, I know, but I'm saying like they were like, "Dude, we're going. If you want us to go to any of our afternoon classes, you have to let us go now." And it was one of those like, "Yeah, but huge liability." And they're like, "But okay, because then we're going to spend the rest of the afternoon doing something else that isn't school. So it's your call, mister." Yeah. And I still
this is a black op, gentlemen. If you tell anyone about this, I will deny it.
And then we had another enterprising young man who used to charge. He would charge $10 a person. So if he went for 10 people, he'd make $100, and he'd go and he made a killing.
It's so good, dude. We're getting a Popeyes on this side of town, Dan. Did you know that?
Are we?
At Jewel and Wads, they're putting one in right now.
Oh my!
I know, dude. I'm pumped.
So in just
who
3.5
cares about the new
years,
In-N-Out?
you'll be able
I'm going to
to
the Popeyes.
Yeah.
Speaking, our In-N-Out did open. Who knows when I'll be able to get that? But I'd rather have the Popeyes.
I'm gonna try to go this week. I'm gonna try.
I was literally driving past it, and I was like, "Man, I really should get one of those sandwiches sometime." And then there's no line, and I was like, "I pulled a U." I was like, "I gotta get it." It got it.
Dude.
Best decision I've made in a long time, boys. So that was the best food I had this week, guys. If you'd like to share, we should have some reader mail. If you'd like to share some of the best food you had, please, again, Xbox.
Or if you have any local recommendations you want us to eat in Denver.
If you're in the Colorado area, please. So, guys, this has been Xbox Record This, episode 11. Fantastic show. Thank you so much for joining me. Do you guys have anything cool going on this week? I am back to work. That's about it. I can't, besides the tournament I had last week, I don't really have much going on. Does anyone have any cool plans this week?
Nothing other than Mass Effect and school. One thing, quick shout out though. We don't talk a lot about what we watch on TV, but I like TV and movies and stuff. Maybe not right now. I watch it because I like horror stuff a lot. But if you getting into Halloween season in a couple months, if you want to watch a cool show on Netflix, check out Fear Street. It just came out by R.L. Stine. It was really good, dude. It's 3 basically movies. They're like 2 hours each. One takes place in 1994 and then 1978 and then 1666. And they all tie together in a really, really cool way. Cool. But it was really rad and definitely violent. Like, don't watch it with your kids if you have kids. Like, under 12 for sure. Maybe
love
more
Fear
than that.
Street.
I'll have to squeeze it in before my Netflix expires.
Yeah, dude, it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and it was cool. So anyway, I'm not doing that this week, but just wanted to throw that out there. So
nice. Chance, and I don't blame you if Netflix expires. I hear you.
Yeah, Ashley and I looked at each other and we were like,
well, Stranger Things, that'll be amazing. But the only reason I don't care is because I have T-Mobile, and that's included in our cell plan.
So that's why we switched, because we switched to Verizon and T-Mobile was paying for it, and we were like, and their prices just went up, and we were like,
on the note, we actually just started The Sopranos, so I've heard nothing but good things.
Man.
Oh, you never saw it when it was out? It was really good, dude.
I have been trying to convince Ashley for so long. I mean,
have you seen it, Chance?
Oh my God, yes! It's really like legitimately considered the greatest TV show ever made, which we could argue about with Seinfeld in there. But
when you get to the end, we got to talk about the ending.
Yeah, I know. I hear
this
is like crazy.
Totally.
So what's funny is we're getting into this, and we still haven't watched Game of Thrones. So I know you guys are going to say something about it. Dude, I watched the first season of Game of Thrones, and I was like, this is boring. Nothing happens, and in the last 10 minutes, something crazy happens, and then there's wings, and that's about it. Like, that's all I got from the first season of Game of Thrones. That's literally all I remember. There's so many characters too, and I was like, I have no idea who you are, what's going on. Bore fest.
Hey, pro tip on that: watch it with subtitles. That makes all the difference.
Yeah, maybe I should, because
I watch everything with subtitles.
Yeah, we do too.
But anyway,
Chapeau
guys,
turned me onto that one.
This has been Xbox Record This, episode 11. Thank you so much to all of our listeners. Again, please write in with anything you'd like to share at xboxrecordthis.com. You can find me at Daddy Diwali across all social media. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This across the web. Chipotle Bear, where can people find you?
You can find me at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter or Chipotle Bear on Instagram. Give us a shout out. Talk to us about your favorite foods and how your weeks are. And if you got any imminent plans or things we should know about, hit us up.
Bubble Boy.
You can find that I've secured the name Bubble Boy N7 across all social medias, but you probably won't get much there.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. This has been the first show where, guys, behind the scenes, we started on time and we're ending at a pretty good time. So shout out to the XRT crew for actually starting on time. And as always, gentlemen, see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
Xbox Record This is a podcast created by Daniel Walenzik. You can follow him at Daddy Diwali on all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. If you'd like to find out more about the show, visit xboxrecordthis.com.